In this video we are going to be looking over this Canon Sure Shot Owl Date 35mm film camera, and my goal here in this video is to test it out on video the way you would want to check it out if you were holding it in your hands and wondering if it worked. So in order to do that, I have a scrap roll of film, a couple of AA batteries, and let's get started in checking this out. The first thing we need to do is open the battery compartment, and that's this little door right here. And first of all, we note that the contacts are all really nice and clean, both down inside and on the door. Lots of cameras that use AA batteries are a real mess now because batteries were left in them. But that was not the case with this one. So we're going to put these batteries in the camera, latch the door. Then we can go around the back here and open this up. And before we load the film, let's just inspect the insides here. I see no broken plastic anywhere around the perimeter here. And I should point out, this is a nicely designed camera in that the door has all of these little ridges and things here that all kind of mate with here on the camera body, so that there's no need for a lot of foam and materials that can break down. The only foam that I see here is right around this window, and that all feels really good to me, so that's good. I should also point out, this is the special date version of the camera that has this, and there's a place here where you can put in a CR2025 battery that will operate that. I did test that out and it worked fine, but the calendar only ran from 1994 until the year 2019, so the calendar is no longer current. So I did just put the dead battery back in, figuring that nobody really will want to use that feature anymore. But it is there, and it works if you have some use for it. Let's load the film. We just put the magazine over on that side, pull the leader over into the take-up area over here, making sure that's straight, and close the door. We hear it winding. We can see here it's winding up to position 1. And now on the front we have this little dial that we can set to different positions. Now auto is probably where most people are going to use it most of the time, and we can just try that out. And we saw that that worked. There's another mode here. Now if you want to make sure that it's going to flash no matter what, pointing right here in the same conditions, and we saw that it did. If you want to make sure that it does not flash, there's a little setting for that. And it did not flash. And then there is a self-timer mode here, and I thought we'll just point this over here at us and start that, and we can see the light is blinking here, and we'll just let that complete its cycle. And it did. So we've seen that the camera is functioning. We're up to picture number 4 already, and let's see what we can do just to use up the rest of these pictures. I'm going to set it to not flash. Okay, now we've reached the end of the roll, and so now the film is rewinding back into the housing. I heard it break free and it stopped. So we can set this to off here to close the lens cover, and we can open up the back. And now all of the film is wound back into the housing. So everything on that seemed to work quite well. The back has a nice door latch. One feature of these Owl cameras is that they have this great big bright viewfinder, and it looks really nice through that. So that's a nice feature of this camera. The strap has a little tool on the end that was useful for pushing these little buttons. Now, I don't know if somebody's going to have use for that data back feature, but it's there if you want it. And as we've just shown, everything on the camera seems to work just fine, and so it's a fairly nice example of the Canon Sure Shot Owl Date 35mm film camera.